Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are recording on Friday, December 27th, after the Celtics' monster win over the Pacers, 142-105, the final score, bouncing back after 2 losses in a row, avoiding losing 3 in a row for the first time this season. And it was an absolute blowout at TD Garden. First time in what feels like a while that they managed to get one of these types of wins, and it felt good. You could tell the players were very thrilled to get one after. It was a joyous post game. Everyone was in good spirits. Even got a double post game from Jaylen and Payton Pritchard. It was a great game, great way to bounce back for the C's.
Yeah, this was just about as much of an ass kicking they could dish out. They killed them pretty much right from the opening jump. It was back and forth for maybe the first 3 minutes, and then they pulled away and continued to pull away and got further and then never looked back. I don't think this got closer than 20 in the second half. The Celtics just dominated this game. They were in full control. Jaylen Brown was excellent. Everybody really was excellent. Just go down the list. You really can't find anybody that you're like, damn, that guy played a bad game. Everybody who got minutes in this game was ready to go, and that's a really encouraging thing to see, especially after they lost a couple tough ones. The Christmas loss was a tough one, and they could have very well come out today and been tense and uncomfortable and pressing a little bit against a legitimate team. Indiana was a team that has played them well over the last couple seasons. Joe was asked about that before the game. He downplayed it and just said they were excited to get out there today. Good competition, etc. I guess they were excited because they put up 142 and stomped them. But seriously, this is still a quality win. It's nice to see that they brought it against Indiana. It's good to see that they played well on both ends of the floor. They had 10 stocks before the half. The Celtics were clearly engaged in this game, ready to go. Jaylen said they had to be ready today, and they certainly were.
Sorry, I had to cough. Yeah, let's start there. Jaylen Brown was as good as he could possibly be in this basketball game. Just season high 44 points, 16 of 24 shooting, 6 of 11 from the field, 9 of 9 to start the game, 4 steals, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, only 1 turnover, no fouls, played 37-14 in this game, which was a game high. Had 2 monster dunks in the first half, one over Miles Turner, the other a windmill in transition. Just an insane performance from Jaylen Brown. Was playing good defense too, locking up ball handlers on the perimeter, getting steals. Like I said, he had 4. He was a man possessed. Just absolutely insane performance from Jaylen Brown. His best game of the season, and what a bounce back from what was probably one of his worst, at least first halves of the season on Christmas against the Sixers.
Yeah, I think we kind of got a preview in the second half of what was to come because in hindsight, played a pretty good. I think he might have had 0 points at the half of the Philly game. I'm not certain on that, but if he did, he had 23 in the second half, which
I think
is no joke.
I think he was 1 of 8, so I think he had 2.
Okay. Nonetheless, explosive second half against Philly. Really great third quarter. He was able to carry that momentum over today. Like Jack said, made his first 9 shots. He was making threes, which even at his best, in his best games, Jaylen just hasn't made a lot of threes. He hasn't had to. When Jaylen's at his best, he's going through guys' chests, going to the rim. Today, we got to see a little bit of the vintage shot creation from him, as well as the loud dunks. He dunked over Miles Turner hard, like Jack mentioned. He pulled a windmill in transition, and he brought it on the defensive end, too. Payton and Jaylen talked about it at the podium after the game. Payton was crediting him for consistently picking up the tough matchups, guarding guys, picking them up in the backcourt, pressing. At Jaylen's size, it's not a common thing for guys to do. And I think there's truth and value to that. I think Jaylen really is a good defender when he's engaged, and the problem is he's not always engaged. I don't think he was engaged early in the Philly game. There were a lot of lapses in that game where you could point to him and be like, oh, wow, Jaylen missed the cut, Jaylen this, Jaylen that. He silenced all of it today. He was the MVP in this game. Indy had no answer for him. He was the most on fire I think we've seen him maybe ever. I'd say the Timberwolves start that they had this year when he was 5 of 5 from 3 was a pretty good competitor for the most hot we've ever seen Jaylen. But aside from those two, it's tough to imagine anything quite like this. He was just excellent from the jump. Respect to him for an excellent response after what was a very critical couple of days on his end.
Yeah, I mean, he had 50 once, obviously, so maybe you can look to that, but just this was another level the way he started this game. So he deserves a ton of credit for that. because it was incredible. I mean, when Jaylen Brown is locked in, I think he's probably a top 5 point of attack defender in the NBA. Like his length, his size, his physicality, his strength, his quickness, his willingness to pick up full court when he is like fully focused on that part of his game, he's a motherfucker. Like it is impossible to get around that guy. But like you said, it's just a matter of doing it consistently, which we'll see if he can keep that up. For what it's worth, as much as Jaylen took center stage, Jayson Tatum had a good game tonight too. 7-15, 3 of 10 from 3. Maybe he's the best, but I don't think he was forcing up many of them. Maybe a couple in there, but 22 points, 13 rebounds, 10 of which were in the first half, 4 assists, 3 steals, only 1 turnover. This dude was a monster on the glass tonight. Like you could they've talked about it before. As important as defense is, you only close a possession if you get the rebound. It looked like Jayson Tatum was like, every single ball that is coming off the rim, I am going to grab. I'm going to get it. Like he was fighting Jaylen for a rebound at one point. Like he was Carmelo Anthony fuck out of here levels of I'm getting every fucking rebound I possibly can. Which was, I think, the best part of his game in this one. On top of that, just so good driving to the hoop tonight. Like he was 3 of 10 from 3, but that means he was 4 of 5 from 2. Good game from Jayson Tatum. Didn't need to be the lead guy. Wasn't the lead guy because Jaylen Brown was on fire, but this was as quiet of a great game as Tatum can possibly have.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about him being able to read the room and be like, Jaylen's got it. Let's keep him going. Not every player that is a superstar in the NBA is always willing to do that. They like playing their game and being able to do what they want to do and get their shots up, and they didn't really need Tatum to do that today, so he just did everything else. He set the tone right from the beginning. He had a steal on the first possession of this game after taking the podium on Wednesday and being like, listen, we need to man up. We need to bring it. We need to lock in on defense and play to our standard of basketball. And he came out and said, this is what we're doing today. The team obliged. They bludgeoned the Pacers. I think it's just so loud in terms of his leadership of what the Celtics did today on his watch, on his lead, and the fact that he just was like willing to do the dirty work, willing to hit the glass. He had a double-double before the break. I think you might have said it. That's eye-catching. Like, it's not easy to grab 10 boards and a half, especially when that's not necessarily your job. Tatum's like guarding the perimeter and stuff. He's not always down at the block waiting for the ball to come off the rim like some of the bigs in the NBA are. Like, he has to crash, and he's consistently been great at that. So credit to him for a great night. Credit to him for setting the tone, and credit to him for walking the walk after calling people out. Like, that wasn't really the manner of the way he said it, but he still said what he said. It wasn't like he didn't like sit down and say, we need to man up. Like, he was asked about it, but still.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, the Celtics had 19 rebounds in the first half and he had 10 of them. It's pretty good. I'd say that's a pretty effective rebounding night. And combine that with the fact that he played, let me see here. Jayson Tatum
did not play
0 minutes in the fourth quarter. Yeah, so pretty good job rebounding the basketball, I'll say. Payton Pritchard was awesome tonight as well. Finished the game 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double. 18 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds, a steal, and a block, which was funny. He had 5 fouls, which is what it is, but 7 of 16, 4 of 11 from 3. He had 5 offensive rebounds, I think 3 of which were on the same possession, but give him credit because he was fighting
in his
down
Andre
there.
Drummond bag.
I mean, he was fighting for him, though. I mean, he was fighting against bigger guys, and he just kept getting them. So, great game from Pritchard. Shows that he's more than a scorer. Definitely feels like the Celtics could afford to give him more opportunities like this, where he is a facilitator, he's a rebounder, he's doing a little bit more of everything than just catching and shooting. And I will say, just like to get into the nitty-gritty of the game, they played Tatum and Brown for the entire first quarter, and I think they played those guys high minutes on purpose tonight anyways, because Jayson was out there for the start of the second, and Jaylen came in like 2 minutes later. But if those guys want to play the start of the fourth quarter, I feel like Joe Mazzulla could be comfortable letting them do that, and then letting Derek White and Payton Pritchard sort of run the show a little bit for maybe like 5 minutes in the second. Like, I think that's a completely valid way to use sub patterns if he wants to give those guys a good rhythm for the start of the game.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's something to be said about both Drew and Kristaps being out for this game. I think that plays a little bit into the role of we just have to play Tatum and Brown more minutes. But with that being said, like, they were ready for the occasion. They were ready for the extra attention that they could get. To go back to Pritchard, he kind of needed a game like this. He wasn't like scorched earth today. He was 4 of 11 from 3. He wasn't like the insane marksman that we had seen through the first month and a half before this cold patch he's been through. I hope that he is able to get back on track because it's been a rough watch lately. I think the Celtics really missed the boost that he typically will give them off the bench over the past week and a half too. Like, they really could have used a couple of those Pritchard threes dropping against the Sixers on Wednesday. They could have used some more help in Orlando on Monday, and the list goes on. So, a near triple-double with 18 points today is a good step in the right direction, even if he wasn't doing the things that he usually does at the same clip. Yeah, even the rebounding joke, like, yes, he was in his Andre Drummond bag, but, like, it's a little different to get the same amount of offensive, like, those 3 offensive rebounds in the same possession at 6'1" rather than 7 feet and 300 pounds and just a massive behemoth.
Sure.
It's different.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna lump Al Horford and Derek White together. Both are solid. Good games from both. Derek White, 3 of 8 from the field and 3. All of them were threes. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 blocks, which was always good. Al Horford, good game. 3 of 6 from 3, 4 of 8 from the field. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. Both of those guys, I feel like, had pretty quiet games, and I think that's just a product of Jaylen Brown was a fucking monster. But I think both were good at what they needed to do. I thought Al Horford was good defensively. I thought Derek White was good defensively. I thought they made some shots when they needed to make some shots. And it was just a good, solid night.
Yeah, I thought both of them really did a good job of building off of what we saw on Wednesday. Horford was incredible against Philly. You can always rely on him. Anytime those uniforms are on the other side of the court, he's just going to be there no matter what. As for Derek, he was in a similar situation to Payton where he really had struggled lately. They missed his 3-point makes. 3 of 8 today is not bad. It's 37.5% for those of you that want the exact stat. I think he made some big ones in this game early on that they needed them to drop when other guys weren't really hitting. So I think that Derek's back. I think that Al has found some confidence in the recent games. I don't really know how much they're going to need to ask of him, but with Kristaps missing the second half of the Philly game and then him not playing today, it's good to see that Horford is ready to go, ready to get those extra shots. He's efficient in doing so. That's really good for the depth of the team, the supporting cast of the team, and their durability when their stars go out. It's good to see he's still ready.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the next biggest story outside of Jayson and Payton, really.
Tillman.
Not what I was going to say, but shout out Tillman. Tillman made his 3. Good for him. Happy for him. Huge game. Jordan Walsh, though. Career high, 20 minutes, 56 seconds. Career high, 9 points. He had 5 rebounds, including 2 on the offensive end. 2 assists, only 2 fouls in this game. Only 1 turnover. He had a block as well. 2 of 3 from 3, which is huge. 3 of 4 from the line. Got to the line a few times. You can really see the outline of an effective NBA player starting to come into fruition with Jordan Walsh. Joe Mazzulla talked about it after the game. Talked about how some of the things he does on defense, you really have to go back and watch the possession to understand how good he is. And if Joe Mazzulla is speaking that highly of Jordan Walsh, especially after earlier in the season, said, if you're on the court, I trust you. Trust him. Clearly he's playing real minutes in a real game, not just garbage time. Good sign, good development for Jordan Walsh. And this might have been the best game of his NBA career.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to sound like LeBron saying he knew about whatever, but walking in today and seeing the reserves going through their warm-ups, I really thought Jordan Walsh looked confident shooting the ball. I think I even said it to you guys. I'm like, his shot looks really good. He looks smooth. It looks a little different than it used to. To Jack's point, it's clear that there's something being built here. There's development happening. The main Celtics are being used the way that they're supposed to be used. And that's awesome because now you have another guy that you can throw in there. We did the video last week about, hey, Sam Hauser hasn't quite been himself, which, again, he wasn't today. And they were able to turn to Jordan Walsh off the bench. He was able to give them good production. He was able to make threes. He was able to make good decisions. He gave them good defensive presence. He did the small things that Joe Mazzulla was referencing in the pressers. I think he talked about just bodying up and making things difficult, being physical with a team like Indiana. And listen, if he keeps it up like this, he could be seeing spot minutes. He could be primed for the O'Shea role, which we kind of guessed would happen going into the season. I think over the summer we talked about it quite a bit. Summer League kind of threw us a little loop. We weren't really ready for him to not do a whole lot in Summer League, but now it looks like he's back. He looked comfortable. I'm excited to see if he gets minutes again on Sunday. If it is a matchup thing, it would make sense considering they're playing the same team. So I would love to see him build off it. I would love to see back-to-back good Walsh games. I'm sure the first of the floor boys are pumped about this. They love them some Walshy.
Yeah, Jordan Walsh was great. I think he's primed for more than just the O'Shea role, and not even like obviously like beyond. I think he's primed for more than what O'Shea has become with the Celtics, but I think he could play more minutes than what O'Shea did. You mentioned it, Hauser, still a little bit cold from three, still doesn't seem like himself. He had a couple nice driving closeouts, mid-range shots, had a nice rebound, but he's just off, man. Like something's just wrong with the way he's shooting the ball. It doesn't seem right. It seems slower too. It seems like he's dipping. Like it just looks wrong.
There's something also about this dude will start and then all of a sudden is not the same player. When they bring him off the bench, he's sometimes a flamethrower. I feel like I've never seen Sam Hauser start a game for the Celtics where it was like, yes, great job, excellent night, Hauser. You shot and made all the threes.
He's had some good ones this season. He's had some good starts. I think he's put that to bed. I think he's been pretty good since starts.
I think traditionally he has not been great as a starter. And listen, I don't really know how much that might just be a statistical coincidence. Like, I don't really know what goes into preparation for these guys as NBA players. Maybe there's added pressure when you're starting. Maybe there's a weird fit with the starting lineup where you feel like you might have less responsibility than you're used to coming off the bench with set lineups and all that. Maybe it plays a factor, but I don't see any real reason why it should change the way he plays or change his production. I think it might just be a coincidence, but nonetheless, go ahead, Jack.
Sorry, I was fact checking. His field goal percentage is a bit worse, but he shoots 40% on over 9 threes a game as a starter, averaging 13.
This year or career?
Ever.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
This year is 12 points on 50% from the field and 38% from three, including this 5 game. Before this game, he was shooting 50% as a starter from three this season. I just think something's wrong. I just think there was 1 3, I forget where it was in the game, that he took in the corner, and I think it was the first half because they were on that side of the floor. But he like dipped his hands more than he usually does on the three, and it looked like a longer release. I don't know if the back's bothering, but just something seems off with Sam Hauser. I'm glad he took them. You can
see from the 9th floor.
Yeah, right. I'm glad he took them though, because he hadn't taken threes and like they haven't looked for him in the past few games. So I was glad he got some up. Like regardless,
he hit one shot on Wednesday, I think.
I know
he took like the first 5 in this game.
It was good. I like that they look for him. Get that confidence springing back up. Speaking of spring, Jaden Springer got 7. Sorry,
yeah.
I said spring and it made me think of that.
From the free throw line.
He did in fact do that. This can't be right. 1 second. I need to refresh. Is this the correct stat? Am I reading this right? This says he was 6 of 6 from the free throw line. He took 6 free throws. Did he?
Maybe
really?
at the end of the game, there was a ton of fouls when we were probably all packing up and getting ready to go get the elevator.
Huh. Well, he was 6 of 6 from the free throw line, 6 points. That's something. There you go.
He's high.
Luke Cornett played. Yeah. Luke Cornett was solid, 1 of 2, 5 rebounds. He did what he did. Neemias Queta was all right. He played well in garbage time, but when he got in for his brief stint during regular minutes, he had like a weird foul, then an illegal screen that was just so clearly an illegal screen, and then they yanked him. So maybe not the best regular stint for Queta, but he played all right in garbage time. And then Tillman missed a 3, then made a 3, baby, 50%.
And he made a push shot off the glass.
That's a little turnaround. Played some good defense on Jarris Walker. It was a good game.
Can you imagine if this is it?
Competent.
Like he's back, switch flipped.
I would cry.
He's got to be feeling good.
Dude, after he made that little hook, that's all it takes. Just got to see one go in. Just got to see one go in, man.
Scowl.
Only takes one, man. Felt nice. Wait. Oh, am I looking at the wrong Pacers game? Wait, this says...
What do you mean? Let me look.
Okay, sorry. No. This has to be at the Pacers game because Jaylen had 44 points. This has Tillman as a DNP and Drew Peterson as a DNP. So NBA.com is fucky right now. I don't know what's going on.
They have stats for me.
On NBA.com?
Yep, I have Drew at 8:23 for 3 points. I have Tillman for 5 minutes for 5 points.
Let me look again. I reloaded. Yeah, no, it shows them as DMPs for me.
Are they going to rob Tillman
That's
of
so
these
weird.
stats?
Huh?
They're going to tell you this didn't happen.
They're hiding. They're hiding my guy. That's
what they did is they actually
crazy.
have Noah put the stats in, and she hid Tillman's stat line from her tweet with all the stats today. So maybe it's her fault.
That fucking rat, dude. Ugh. Wrapping back around though to the start, Celtics defense in this game was fucking awesome. Just so unbelievably much better than it was on Christmas. Jaylen Brown said after the game, he basically was like, yeah, he said, we let our fans down on Christmas. We needed to be better in this game, and they were. So shout out to him. Shout out to the Celtics for turning around defensively, and the Pacers for as brutally horrific a defensive team as they are. And oh boy, they are. We saw that tonight. They're a good offensive basketball team, and the Celtics made them look like peewee basketball. Like they shut that shit down.
Have they been as good offensively this year? I'm going to try and look it up right now, but I just don't trust NBA.com to show me what I want to see. Because I know this year they're sub 500 now. They're the
11th
start.
Yeah, they're the 11th best offense in the league, so not quite as good. But we know what they have, and they beat the Celtics earlier this year because they run a fast-paced offense. So
correct.
Regardless, to see them play this well and be this much better was good, especially after Christmas.
Yeah, the Celtics needed this kind of win. Like, plain and simple. This was the sort of game I think everybody was hoping to see today. Wasn't sure if we were going to see it. Indy had won 5 straight coming into this. Celtics, of course, had lost 2 straight, but it's good to see them get their shit right. Hopefully they're able to replicate it on Sunday. I'm guessing that the Pacers will come out a little bit more intense after getting stomped by 37 points. But we will see. That's why they play the game. That's why they do it.
Biggest win of the season, 37 points. There you go. I don't know if there's anything else. I think that might be it. I don't have any final thoughts. Jaylen Brown, Payton Pritchard, 7-for-1 performance. Pretty good when they play in those.
They're about to send you some shoes, Jack. You threw them in the alley-oop in the pressers.
Good promo. Help me. I mean, I'm not going to get any credit because everyone else is going to post the video, but
it'd be really funny if you hurt your ankle and you were wearing them. And maybe you're out for like a day.
It's a curse, though, because when you ask a good question, that is like the last time you get credit because you can't post the video. Even if I didn't like put my phone down to record, like I am asking the question, so I cannot get like, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone else will be faster to post the video because I am the one talking and asking them the question.
Correct.
So it's cooked, but that's okay. Noah's gonna get the views anyway, so it doesn't matter if I ask it or not. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like. Go check out our articles, Hardwood Houdini and Celtics blog. I remembered we should probably say that. I don't think we say that on any podcast ever, but we both
it's always on the bottom.
If you want to read, but no one reads. So go read those. Follow us on Spotify. We'd appreciate that very much. Subscribe here on YouTube. Leave a like, a comment. Let us know your thoughts on the game. Follow us on Apple and leave a review there. And I'll let Sam take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment, tell us what you thought of Celtics Pacers #1. You can also hit the bell because Jack and I are here every single day, no matter what. New content dropping every morning. We have full pods dropping Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, game recaps the morning after each game, and other videos are up on the channel in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. For those of you that want the audio versions of the pods and recaps, they are up there just for you. Leave a 5-star review on there. We'd appreciate it very much. It does a lot for our algorithm. I think you can actually comment on Spotify too, so you might be able to do that. You can find us in the email, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Jack and I are recording later today as you're listening to this. So get them in, send your thoughts. We already have a couple. Excited to do the email segment on the pod. So hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's the name of the pod. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at JackSmone NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.